All right, since the microphone is down and because I mentioned certain things and people are on my phone, and this will be used in court hopefully later or sooner, we'll see. If you want to know about the thumbnail and flushing the system, or what does that mean, or how do they drain the swamp? Well, it was interesting when I heard the whole thing, right? Because when I started this video the first time, I was using these devices that normally work with Apple products, but being that, well, I've been targeted, let's just say that, by nefarious people or individuals. If you want to learn how to flush the system in your hospital, local law enforcement, federal law enforcement, intelligence agencies, and private sector alike, well, you have to give them something to go after and then have a menage a trois on their phone, for instance, right? Now, mind you, this is for educational purposes only, and because I don't have the microphone and I'm left with, well, let's just say using the speaker from the Apple product itself, which means that its security system has been hacked and there's a flaw, right? Well, let's get into it, shall we? Because, well, all you have to do is give them someone to go after. Once they're going after somebody and they try to use blackmail or entrapment, well, then you already have certain people that are tapped into the phone, that are utilizing their system, that are in T-Mobile or Verizon or whatever carrier phone provider that you utilize, and they are messing with you technologically. Now, they can say it wasn't us, it was our AI or our artificial intelligence system that conducts surveillance on everybody. Well, if that's the case, isn't that a violation of privacy laws? Isn't that a violation of Title 47, which deals with the United States Code of Telecommunications? And then, of course, those are crimes that fall underneath Title 18. And if it's a group of you, that would be subsection, 242 and 241, coercive behavior and abuse of rights, and under color of law, if I remember correctly. I would have to go back to the public law library for that. So if you are in a hospital and people are asking a lot of questions, and when I get asked a lot of questions, I get worried. So when people say, why are you saying flush the system? What does that mean, etc.? Well, I would say, why did Trump say he's going to build a prison, called it Alligator Alcatraz? Well, if you remember the movie The Rock, with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, they broke Mason out of prison because Alcatraz got taken over by, I think, people who were former military or something like that, or active duty military. And it was going very bad because they were going to launch some type of gas, right? Think of it like an advanced version of COVID all over the place. And nobody wanted to listen, but they had a hunch. So they broke Mason out to assist them, right? And he wanted certain things because he was falsely prosecuted and thrown in prison, so on and so forth, right? Because there were certain things he didn't want to do. I've had my fair share of this type of experience in North Carolina, but who am I? Nobody, right? So, if you want to flush the system, say, ooh, that thing over there, right? So, for instance, if you want somebody to take a risk and you don't want to take the risk yourself, you can utilize shiny object syndrome in psychology. You can say, there's more of this over there. All you have to do is acquire tactfully that information. And then everybody will go ahead and try to acquire that information to not only cover their ass, but to get information, because information is the most valuable form of currency. So with that being known and stated, and data being sold all over the place, hence why you got applications like Delete Me and everything else to get rid of your online data. Well, if the government is selling your data or allowing it to happen, then who's to blame? And then that means laws don't exist, rules don't exist. Are they that hurting in the budget deficit? Or is it the companies themselves that are hurting and they need a dollar? The government prints money, so they're not worried about it. And of course, everything's digital. So if it's digital and about 20% of the Earth's currency is on paper and tangible, well, then what are assets? You know, assets would be like real estate, but different property. Let's say you bought a TV, if you bought weapons or whatever that are collectible items, those could be known as assets and sold off later, right? But most people who aren't, well, that clever will get worried. So they might see the weapon and think danger, or they might see an asset and think, oh, they got money, or they might see something else and not realize that it's probably tied to debt and there's nothing there for them, right? It's like seeing a briefcase. You open it up and there's nothing, but you've seen too many movies, so you think the briefcase is filled with money. And yet everybody keeps going until something happens, right? Because people don't normally stand up to defend certain things until certain things happen, like in the movie The Rock, right? They were gonna release this VS gas. It was like these green little balls, etc. And people wonder why there aren't any green pens in my martial arts system. But it's very hard because people want me to say stuff directly instead of taking action, right? They don't want to meet with me. They don't want to assist, but they don't want to take action either until it happens. And then when it happens, they say, how did you know about this? My question is, if you were informed, why the fuck didn't you do something about it? If you're informed that they're committing insurance fraud at Atrium Health, why didn't you do anything about it, FBI, when your security guard mentioned wanting to clean water? Why didn't local authorities ask better questions and they were just playing a game? Why are people so accepting of certain things as long as it puts money in their pocket? Who's allowing it to happen? I don't know. But if who actually cares, ironically, if you say who too many times, you sound like an owl, symbol of the Magic Castle. Shout out to everybody in Slight Club and Fool Us. Who else? John Michael Henton, who just won another time, or won again. Brian Swearinger, who's a cool guy. Caleb Morgan, who was on there. I think he teaches people paralinguistics and how to speak. Getting paid for that. I think he's married to a Spanish girl. They have kind of like this Penn and Teller type of thing. It's phenomenal. Anyways, so I hope you guys take a little bit of this video and start making some real assumptions, because if you want to, well, share information all over the place, whether you're using advanced technology, some people will say, oh, V2K, or some people will say, oh, tooth implants and all that can't transmit certain things, but it could pinpoint your location so that when they want to play their electronic games or do their deep fake videos and audio on your cell phone, they can make sure you're both in the same location. That means what? Brian David Hill, who's a dentist who magically, after installed my crown, got his own place, started playing Monopoly. No jealousy here, but he was worried when I started educating somebody on finance, and it was a Caucasian male. He found out later on that I was Hispanic. Isn't that weird? No racism, right? No discrimination, right? Why did he get upset with me? Why did he stop hanging out with me? He could say his best friend is Spanish, but his best friend did not get caught stating certain things that I stated, such as how to trade on the stock market, make your life better, etc. It's like they want to see you do good, but not better than them. And as Harvey Specter once said, who I look up to, some people like this. Other people, possibly former military, etc., attorneys, like this, right? But it all depends on your type of character and whom you are, right? Maybe you're into cybersecurity or you're in that field, but you do not code in Kali, right? You don't code that way, right? Maybe you listen, you read, etc. Maybe you sell out your own family because you're not trying to get burned or you're trying to keep a paycheck, right? To get information, right? If something took 6 to 7 years, now mind you, the kids are saying 6, 7 now, wonder why, and that adds up to 13, like the 13 pieces of silver, well then what is going on? Anybody? So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys get something out of it, and you listen to understand and put everything together, because it's only going to get worse. Remember, even Elon Musk said that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And if you think oil prices and gas prices are the only things that are going to get worse, on top of car issues, no jobs, etc., or people telling people not to hire people, ask yourself this question. Why are used cars, especially in North Carolina, more expensive than new ones? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to prevent? Are they trying to teach a lesson? Or is the world finally coming together and saying, sometimes good guys have to do bad things to make the bad guys pay? Till next time, my friends, I will see you in another video of Finding Freedom. Peace.